Hi, everybody. It's Miss Lester back at you with the final installment of your written assignment preparation. I'll be back with you tomorrow to do some conferences and some one-on-ones with you guys, but we have one more day where we're going to look at conclusions and also the title if we get a chance. If we don't get a chance, I'll make a separate video about titles. So, conclusions. They count in two areas, the rubric criterion D and criterion E, meaning organization and development and language. They bring closure to your written assignment or any essay that you're writing. What you want to do is go ahead and open up your draft that you've been using. You want to highlight your conclusion in light orange. You can see I've already done mine. I've already made some notes as well to get to, because this part of my essay I already knew was kind of the weakest. So to get back in over here, here is what you're looking for in a great conclusion. First thing, make sure that there are no quotes there. You don't need them. You're sort of like resolving your ideas. So if there are any quotes, that's sort of starting a new idea. You don't want that. Remember the 3 R's, restate, recap, resolve. Make sure you're bringing a new insight to your main point, or making sure that you help the reader see something new. Mention author's purpose again explicitly, and make sure you're circling back to address your larger implication. Now, if you take a look in the slides, there are a couple of example conclusions that I give you strengths and weaknesses for. So please feel free to look through that. But what I want to spend most of our time in the video doing is looking at this conclusion. Now, remember, I said it was kind of the weakest part of my paper. It's just not long enough. There's no restate, recap, resolve. It's just not enough. The other thing I notice is that the thesis, let me zoom in a little bit more here. The restate is pretty much just a copy and paste, and that's not what you need. You need sort of new words to bring some new insight to your essay. So the other thing is just a pet peeve, and stylistically, I hate in conclusion to start your conclusion. So I'm going to go ahead and start workshopping this first sentence. So I'm going to just start it brand new and say, in a doll's house, Ibsen creates Nora as a dynamic character whose change is spurred on externally through other characters in order to make her a new woman at the conclusion of the play. It's the same thesis I started with, but new words. It doesn't list everything out because I'm going to do that in the recap. So I can delete this out because I've already said that, and then I'm going to move on to my recap. Again, I made some notes here of the main ideas in each one of my sentences, or I'm sorry, in each one of my topic sentences, in each one of my paragraphs. So I'm just going to say here, she begins the drama as meek and submissive, then through the catalysts and models of Krogstad and Christine, Nora begins to see that true change is possible. The final, I don't want to say catalyst again, so I'm just going to put it in here and then I'll find another word. The final catalyst for her permanent change, however, is the confrontation from her husband Torvald. Okay, now I'm just going to open up here, see synonym for catalyst. Impetus, incentive, motivation. Motivation, I like that. Okay, so I've got my recap here in these two sentences. Then the last thing I want to do is I need a resolve, sort of like a final idea where I mention the author's purpose and sort of like go back to the larger implication. So let me go back up here and I can see that, let's see here. Nora's change as a character parallels the feminist change Ibsen wanted to effect in his country as a whole. So, okay. Ibsen creates Nora as his protagonist, as a shining example of what the women in Norway can be. Feminist, independent warriors. It's kind of an overstatement, but I like it. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here, make sure I italicize A Doll's House, and then make my highlighting the same. Great. Okay, so that is my conclusion. Now, as I scroll through, you can see all of the previous work that I've done here, and I'm all the way up here to the title. Now, with your title, you want to have two parts to it. The first part, you want something catchy, like some kind of song title or saying or something like that. And then what you do in your essay as the second part. So let me go back over here to my slides and I'll show you a few examples of titles. Remember, catchy title, song reference, cliche, short turn of phrase, and then an explanation of what's in your paper. So, Who Run the World? Feminist symbolism in a doll's house. Criminal Minds, the motif of psychosis in The Stranger. Fly Like an Eagle, imagery of birds of prey and chronicle of a death foretold. Now, remember, no quotation marks unless the first part of your title is a song or a poem. Who Run the World and Fly Like an Eagle are, so that's why I have quotation marks there. Don't forget, you need to still italicize the title of the novel and you need to mention it and make sure that you have a clear literary device or an element mentioned in the second part. So here in the second part, I already know what this is. So I'm just going to say Nora's character change in Ibsen's A Doll's House. Actually, I don't need Ibsen's, so I'm just going to get rid of that to make it a little shorter. Okay, italicized. Okay, so I need something catchy that's going to be about women, about change, about feminism. So let me run through sort of like the song titles in my head. A Woman's World. Just a Girl. I don't love it, but it'll do for now. I'm going to say just, and I need quotation marks around it because it is a, seems like there's a Beyonce song that would be better than that, but that's okay. Yeah, sorry, running through the Lemonade album in my head. Maybe Not Sorry or something along those lines, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it as Just a Girl for now, just to show you that that's how you do it. So here's my title, Just a Girl, Nora's character change in A Doll's House. And there is my essay with all the parts new and pretty and color coded. Keep it like this so that way when we conference tomorrow, that I can see that you've been through all the steps, and we can target some specific things to look at. So hope you've been able to keep up. That's all for now, and I will see you tomorrow.